On the Build Show today, a very special topic that's near and dear to my heart. My house! That's right! We are in framing. I am so excited, guys. I got a brand new house under construction behind me here. Let me give you a full tour. We're gonna talk to you about the framing we're using, a couple of the details. I'm gonna get into some nerdy stuff, and I got a great series of videos on this basically new construction house. It's no longer the Real Remodel series. This is now the Real Rebuild series from my house. Let's get going. All right, y'all, you ready for a tour? First off, let me show you the site. I've got stacks and stacks of insulation. I've got a bunch of lumber covered up because we got some rain coming in. But man, Bill Wood and the guys at Madera have done an incredible job of getting us off the slab. So if you watched the last series of videos, you know that we started with basically a slab and we are framing new construction from here up. So this is a brand new house. Now we're in the basic same footprint as the old house. I may have one or two old pieces of wood like this garage header. This wall is basically the same, but this is a brand new framed house. We got a couple things going on here. Gosh, where do I start? There's so many details I want to tell you about. First off, this yellow lumber you're seeing here, this is not traditional lumber. Although it is a 2x4, it's not a traditional 2x4. This is LVL studs. Have you seen these before? An LVL is basically a plywood stud. And if we were to count these, we're somewhere around maybe 12 ply, 14 ply, something like that. Very, very straight, very, very strong. These are made by Boise Cascade. There's a couple different manufacturers of engineered lumber, but Boise Cascade's got an especially nice LVL stud. The other thing you're gonna notice here is we framed now the first floor with 9-foot plate height, meaning there's your 8-foot sheet of Huber zip, and we blocked it. We still have another foot to go. So now my garage has a foot of extra height. The second floor has an extra foot of height, and I'm using some engineered floor joists, which are a little taller. So my whole house has grown a little bit in height, but other than that, it's the same basic shape and outline as it was before. A couple things I want to point out on the front here. This is my garage header, and you can see we've not framed the roof over the garage yet. It's going to get a shed roof over the garage, which is going to extend over this way, which will ultimately be the porch roof as well. Underneath this OSB here is a concrete porch. And so this, where the front door is going to be, like right here, this will get framed out. Now we didn't frame that yet because we wanted to sheathe on the second floor with the zip system. The zip system is what we're using for both structural sheathing as well as water and air proofing. And we want that to be our big air proofing layer on the outside of the house, which means that we wanted to sheathe all this first before we put this garage roof rafters on. And that way we'll have this continuous air barrier all the way across. Now we're gonna have to also sheathe into the garage here, but I'm gonna wait until I blow the insulation in this spot first in this floor before we sheathe that. But we're gonna also block, you can see we've blocked off between the house and the garage there so that any mechanicals that go through will be able to air seal that. Now let's pop over here, we'll come through the front door, and I'm gonna show you some other good framing details. As we go into the front door here, you're gonna see that the framing is a double bottom plate. That's a little unusual out there. You don't see that very often. And you're gonna see that in these interior walls, we've also used sill sealer. You're familiar with sill sealer, right? That's that blue kind of foam gasket that's at the bottom of the house. That's everywhere on the outside walls as well, but we've done an extra air sealing step that you may not have seen before. I got some videos of the guys doing that from the Madera crew while they were running. And here's the process. Basically, we're gonna take an acoustic caulk. There's a couple different options out there. We used both Tremco's acoustic sealant as well as this that comes in a sausage tube. This is by Proclima, and this is called Contiga HF. They're both what's called acoustic sealants. And an acoustic sealant is different from a regular sealant because it never skins over, it never hardens. It's basically forever elastic. And the way that we're using it for air sealing in this house is at the bottom plate, we ran a bead of that down on the concrete before we put our bottom plate down. And then we turned the bottom plate over, stapled on the sill sealer to that, but you'll notice we only stapled it on one end so that then we could run another bead of that acoustic sealant between the sill sealer and the bottom plate, that pressure treated 2x4 bottom plate, so that then when we put that down first, you've got this kind of Z-shaped gasket on the bottom. Now, sill sealer alone does a good job of being a capillary break. It does not do a great job air sealing, and I've learned that the hard way over the years, but air can flow through there, and so this is a great, inexpensive detail from my buddy Steve Basic on how to air seal that area that's really hard to air seal. You're always gonna have some waves, some bumps in the concrete, the house is gonna move, and we don't want this cheap sill sealer to be our only air gasket. This is gonna do a really nice job for us. Okay, so then from that point up, you'll notice that all the wall framing is pretty traditional 2x4, 16-inch on-center wall framing. We've got some California corners going on, if you're familiar with that term. Here's what a California corner looks like. You can see I've got a stud here, and then I've got a stud in the flat so that I can shove insulation back there. However, I'm not quite as worried about those insulation details being perfect, because ultimately we're going to use this for insulation on the outside. This is Atlas insulation. It's polyiso, and we've got 2 inches of polyiso going on the outside of the building, 4 inches on the roof up above. Now, we haven't framed any of this roof here. This is my master bedroom. So there's the door to the master we came in. Bed wall is going to be right here. Get some great window locations. These are going to be all JELD-WEN's Auraline, which is a composite window. There's the door into the bathroom. We walk in here, and this is my wife's closet area. Vanities will be right here. Go through this doorway here, and then we've got a shower here. We're going to do a nice zero entry curb shower with Schluter systems to get that all taken care of. And then this room over here will have a doorway here, and this will be my closet. I got the tiny closet, of course, no big deal. Let's talk for a minute about why we used 2x4s versus maybe going up 2x6s. A big reason is because I've got all that exterior insulation on the outside of the house. I didn't need more cavity insulation. We're gonna use rock wool on the inside of the house in all the cavities, but because I've got 2 inches of insulation on the outside of the house, I basically have an R13 on the entire outside of the house. I've already met my code mandated insulation level on the outside of the house before I even go to the inside, which brings me to an interesting topic. We're going to get into this in the future, but I'm thinking about potentially getting this house rated as a passive house. I think I've got the details for it. I'm going to talk to a couple buddies about that. We've got a couple of our rafters on here. This is going to be my family room. And the family room will have a vaulted ceiling. You can see there's all LVL rafter material as well. I got a big old LVL beam up there, and then this will be the stairwell. I'm not going to go up today. I don't even have a ladder here, and the crew's gone, but basically from here you'll step up. That'll take you to the second floor. And then the second floor roof just went on today as well, and you can see on that gable wall it's coming down, and there's a ton of load on this beam right here. Now, if you saw my other series of videos, the old house had a staircase, or not the old house, the previous house had a staircase, and you can see the outline of it right here. This is the staircase. You used to step right here to go up, and this was a closet. And so we've decked over that, and then we pushed the house out on the second floor over a couple feet so I could create a bathroom upstairs for my daughter and a bigger living room space upstairs. I also wanted a little bit more space for my mechanicals, so we've used Boise Cascade I-joists as well, these BC I-joists. Super straight and flat, really, really nice product. We've got those on a series of LVLs that Whit Smith, my engineer, designed in for me there. Look at that big old Simpson. Let's see if you can see it. Can you see that big old Simpson hanger right there that triple's coming on? That's crazy. And then the engineer also said, hey, we want you to bolt these columns together, these stud packs. You want to make sure that these aren't just nailed. So these are through bolted. And Bill and the guys did a nice job. They use a Forstner bit right here, countersunk that head. Coming over here, we've got another stud pack right here, which lands on those two LVL beams are landing right in the center there. And check out that sweet saddle my steel guys made for me right there. That saddle is kind of taking that LVL together and transferring that load down to that column. That looks really nice. Guys did a great job on that. We come over here, this is my kitchen area. So I've got a bank of cabinets here, garage on the far side of that, kitchen here. My stove is going here. Obviously kitchen windows, kitchen sink in that area. And then there'll be a pocket door here. I'm using cavity slider. For my pocket doors, we'll slide here. There's another cavity slider going in here. That'll be my pantry. Little built-in desk for a family computer here. Laundry space right here. And then a door to the garage. See how I've got this double bottom plate? Why the double bottom plate? We're doing that because I've got a foam detail as well on the floor. We're going to be doing insulation on top of the floor, which is going to allow me to insulate the slab. Now, Steve Basic came up with this detail. I've seen him use it over on Jake Bruton's jobs. And the first time I saw it on Jake's job, mind blower. Incredible idea, incredible concept. Here's the basics. We're going to use 1.5 inches of EPS foam on top of my slab, and then we're going to put 2 layers of Advantech decking on top of that, running opposite each other, and at a 45 or a 90 rather, glued and screwed together and floating above. So where my feet are now, they'll be 3 inches higher when we finish that. And that'll then give me a wood subfloor so that I can put hardwood floors in here as well. So I'll have hardwoods on my whole first floor. And it'll be fully insulated. Man, that's gonna be cool, I can't wait. All right, a couple other details I wanted to mention. Check out this curb on the back of the house here. This curb is going where I've got a big sliding glass door coming that's gonna give me some good light and some good views on the outside. But I didn't want to build that out of framing. I wanted the durability of that concrete. So if any splashback happened on the outside, it would hit concrete underneath there. And that's going to flush out so that door will sit right on top. That's basically spaced 3 inches off the slab. I think that's really it for today's video. I really wanted to show you the progress from the guys at Madera. Bill Wood and his crew, I've been building those guys for about 13 years now. We've built a lot of houses for a lot of people, but never one for myself and my family. I can't tell you how excited I am. This is just gonna be, it's already been so fun. Big thanks to my friends at Boise Cascade. They gave me a sweet deal on these 2x4 studs. And then basically we decided, because they gave us such a good deal on the studs, we're gonna use all the LVLs for the roof framing as well. So stay tuned for some videos on that. We got a bunch of videos on installing windows, how we're doing the exterior foam. We'll see if I end up rating this passive house or not, but I'll get into some of the HVAC details. My friends at Positive Energy have done an incredible HVAC design for me. After building homes for other people for 25 years, to be able to finally build one the way I want to build it, so awesome. All right, guys, if you're not currently a subscriber, hit that subscribe button below. I've got new content every Tuesday and every Friday. And oh, by the way, if you're not familiar with my new website that we started publishing about 3 months ago, I jokingly call it Netflix for builders. I've got several other amazing builders and one awesome architect, Steve Basic, who I mentioned, filming videos at their job sites. And we're publishing 6 new videos a week over on BuildShowNetwork.com. You got to go check it out. I'll put a link in the description for our newsletter, which comes out every Friday morning on email, which tells you here's what's new this week, so you can click on a specific new video that you might want to see from one of those guys. But like I said, if you're not currently a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. New content every Tuesday and Friday. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, otherwise we'll see you next time on The Build Show.